Alright, so we've got the kit. Let's get it open and check out, make sure all the contents are here. Wires, hoses, owner's manuals. Okay, so I've measured underneath to find out which area in between the cross braces we're going to put the pan, and now I'm measuring on top the same distance to where the center of the cross brace is, and we're making a mark. Okay, now we'll get the pan. Okay, so now you take your pan, put it upside down in the place where you want it. We've measured from the end of the boat this way. I know that this mark right here is on center with this cross brace right here. So I'm going to put this towards the end of it. Make another mark here. We've measured. I know that my other cross brace is going right across here. Then we measure equal distance from side to side. I know that this is 50 inches across, so, and this pan is 8 1/4 inches wide, so we're going 20 7/8 on each side, and then that will be equal distance on each side, and we will make a mark. And then on the back side, to make sure that it's square, make the same mark. On each side, 20 7/8 on my boat. I suppose everybody's will be different. Alright, so now we've centered the pan. This is a 16-inch pan because this boat has 16-inch cross braces. We're going to draw a line that we will use to saw a hole in this perfectly good boat floor. Alright, so we are about to cut a hole in this floor. That's the line. There is a flange that's going to cover, you know, a 1/4 inch over with your saw blade. Okay, that allowed us to pop this center piece of wood down. Now, I've set my blade on my saw at 3/4 inch. This is 3/4 inch floor decking. You don't want to set it any lower than that. You run the risk of cutting into your cross members, and you do not want to cut into your cross members. You just want to cut the wood, get the wood off the cross members. Alright, we have our hole cut, and now I'm just cleaning up the sawdust. The hole that we have just cut in the middle of the boat makes for a nice place to put everything for now, seeing as how we're doing this in the garage. And then we'll get all the fine dust out of it. Now you can see it's nice and clean and ready to install the fire pit pan. Okay, on this pan we've installed the ground wire and the igniter wire that goes to the electrode there, and this is the orifice along with the gas inlet tube. I'm going to drop all this down under, and then the front and back end of this will rest on the cross members securely like that. Very sturdy. We're installing this with the gas inlet tube going in the direction of where your hoses are going to be underneath. Make sure you do that before you put it in. Lid, this is part of the locking mechanism, and then we'll install the lock and it'll have a little swing arm that'll come out. So you need to cut a notch at each end that will be covered by the flange. So what we've done is put that on there and drew around it, and now I'm going to just take a flathead screwdriver and chisel this notch out. You may have a saw that you like to use for this kind of thing, or a die grinder, but for the average weekend warrior, I think everyone has a flathead screwdriver. Okay, now we're going to put our flange on. This just lays right on top. There are 6 holes, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and they coordinate with the holes that are on the pan. They will line up once you put the flange on the inside there. 6 screws that come with it for this that will install right into the side. Do not over tighten. Once you have all 6 screws in, once you have all 6 screws in, you can adjust it to make sure that it's square. The flange has about a 16th of an inch of play, and so if it's out of square one way, you can just loosen one up and tighten the other, and it'll move it around, and eventually they'll all be tight and square. Now, take this off here just to show you. We've notched out this side and this side for this part of the locking mechanism. So now when this goes back on, you install your screws in. This fits in here like this. And now I want to show how sturdy this is. I am a heavier person and I can walk on it, stand on it. I don't have any idea it's here. All day, you can walk on it. So when people make comments on Facebook and say, I think somebody would stand on that, you can, as long as the fire's not on and the lid is. Thank you. Okay, now we have the fire pit in the floor. We're going to install some gas lines in this chase lounge area, because this right here is where we have picked on this boat for the 20-pound propane tank to fit. The grommet on the floor there is where we're going to drill the hole where the gas lines are going to go through. Alright, now we've drilled our hole. We have access for our gas lines. Now our tank in this chase lounge is not fitting perfectly down into the hole here. So this area right here, we're going to just cut this bottom lip off of it and leave this up here so that the 20-pound tank will fit easier. Alright, this hose here has a female end at one end and the connect end at the other end that connects to the 20-pound tank. We're going to take the female end and put it down through our hole that we have cut at the bottom of this cavity. You just feed as much down as you need, leaving enough hose on the top side to connect firmly to your 20-pound tank. And then after you have that length that you know you need to come up from the bottom, that is when you secure the hose underneath to the P-clamp. Okay, we have this in, and then right over here is where we put the 20-pound tank. Alright, now this is one of two vents that you will need for the area where the gas tank is stored. We are going to install it per the owner's manual instructions. This one will go here. Okay, we are under the boat and we have our igniter wire and our ground wire, and we have ran those over here, and that above that area right there is the helm, and we are going to have a hole underneath the helm that we're putting in with a butterfly bit, and we'll just run the wires up under there, and then we will secure these wires to the bottom of this floor. And then we will secure these wires with clamps to the bottom of the floor. We have drilled the hole in the floor underneath the helm, free and clear of all wires above and below. And now we're going to clean this area up and run our wires and gas line. Okay, now we have ran our wires and our hoses up through our hole in the floor, and then we will be putting our spark generator and our shutoff valve here on this wall, and then we will connect everything in the next step. Okay, we are back underneath the boat, and you can see the pan fits nicely resting on the cross braces. Cuts are tight, the hoses and wires are hooked up. They're not clamped to the floor yet, but this connection here has been wrenched on. This is wrench tight. This is where the gas hose fits on the orifice that is on the gas inlet tube that's going into the pan on the bottom. And the other end there is going up under the helm through a hole that's been drilled. Also, I'm taping from this angle here to show that everything is above the cross members, so any kind of trailer or however you're hauling this thing around when you're not on the water will not catch on wires and hoses. Everything is above the 2-inch cross brace area. Okay, on this boat here, this is where we're going to put our instrument panel. This will have the shutoff valve and the igniter button, and we are getting ready to draw some holes so we can see where it goes, and then we're going to cut our holes and attach it. Alright, right here we are installing our instrument panel onto the helm, and once we get this plate on, we will put our
flashlight
controls, the button and the shutoff valve through it, and then hook it all up from the back side. Okay, we have installed the control panel. There is an igniter button on there right above the notice sign, and then that is the shut off and on valve. Here is our pan without the lid on it. There is the lid with the lighting instructions. And here is where we have installed the 20-pound tank. Now those hoses are running underneath through a hole coming up under there. And this is the back side of the igniter button. And this is where the shutoff valve has been hooked to the two hoses coming through the hole. One is running to the tank and the other is running to the pan. Okay, we finished up putting the clamps on the hoses and wires underneath, which secure everything, and so now you can run a trailer under it or whatever. Nothing's gonna tear your hoses and wires off. This is the pan, locked, standing on it. Over here, again, just to recap, is the controls for turning it off and on. And to turn it on, your fire pit, unlock your lid, pick it up, put it to the side, come over here. On this particular boat, we've got it in here. You would turn on your gas tank, turn it to the left, slowly, come over here, turn on your valve, hit the button, and there is the finished product of our installation. Thank you. Mm-hmm.